Good, whatever the time of the day or night it happens to be while you're watching this. My name's Max Furno. I'm the media and graphic designer for Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service. As always, we've got Pete Cole working his magic behind the camera.
Hello viewers.
And we'd like to welcome you to the podcast. This time we've come to our fire control centre in Potton, and we'd like to thank Claire and Greenwatch for having us. So Pete, what have we got coming up on the show today?
So in today's show we have roped in Alison Scott, a watch manager from Control, who has just completed an excellent narration for us for the forthcoming podcast. And in this episode we cover operational incidents and exercises that we've attended in the last few months, but we are also going to have a look at some of the community engagement projects that we've been involved with. So if you want to get in touch with Max and myself, our emails are on the screen. So Max, over to you.
I think all I've got to do is to say, Pete, run VT.
Many of our on-call fire stations have been continuing to host Have a Go days. Here at Amesbury Community Fire Station, local people were invited in and given hands-on experience of some of the equipment that firefighters use to show them that these days being a firefighter is an achievable career choice for more and more people. This supports our commitment to positive action by encouraging more applications from women and other underrepresented groups within the community. We're also supporting the Great Need More campaign, produced by the National Fire Chiefs Council, which aims to encourage people to become on-call firefighters. Just go to the oncallfire.uk website to find out more and follow the link to your local fire service to apply. Easy.
Just want to say an absolutely huge
Olympic swimming legend Sharon Davis has been promoting the excellent work of our firefighters after her car caught fire on New Year's Eve. She visited Bradford-on-Avon Community Fire Station in January to meet the crew and carry out some media interviews in support of the National Need More campaign. Chief Fire Officer Ben Ansell then invited her to watch the firefighters training in the drill yard. We've held several Safe Drive Stay Alive presentations over the last few months and are now pushing forward with our new Survive the Drive programme. Survive the Drive is based on Safe Drive, but for military personnel. The aim is that they will get a greater understanding of the risk on our roads and the impact that a road traffic collision can have on them, their families, and the wider community. This initiative has been welcomed by all three of our armed forces. We took part in the national launch event at the Ministry of Defence in Whitehall, which was held prior to the programme being rolled out to all British military personnel worldwide. In December, Prince's Trust Team 117 held their passing out presentation at Hamworthy Community Fire Station after a completion of the 12-week course. The Lord Lieutenant of Dorset, Angus Campbell, was on hand to present certificates achieved in employability, teamwork and community skills and Level 3 First Aid. If you are aged 16 to 25, are not in education, employment or training and would like to gain skills and qualifications to help move you into work, please contact Prince's Trust Team Leader Debbie Harvey. Safe for People and Responsible Communities, or SPARK for short, takes young people aged between 12 and 17 and trains them using real firefighting equipment. Here at Springbourne Community Fire Station, these graduates demonstrate the skills they've learnt over the previous 5 days before being presented with their certificate by the Lord Lieutenant of Dorset, Angus Campbell. Please contact us if you would like to find out more about SPARK or any of our other youth programmes. Now let's take a look at some of the operational incidents and exercises that we've attended. A family had a lucky escape in December after their dog became stuck in some mud at Chewton Bunny near Highcliffe. They then got into difficulty themselves after going in to help. Crews from Christchurch and Pool's technical rescue team rescued the family using inflatable walkways and a mud lance, a rod that injects compressed air into the mud around the casualty to loosen it. It's great to get outdoors whatever the time of year, but please stick to the footpaths and solid ground, keeping your dog on a lead near mud and ice. If you should become stuck in mud, stay calm and lie down. Spread your arms and legs wide apart and shout for help, and then call 999. We attended a road traffic collision in December on the A35 at Morden Park Corner to a woman who was trapped inside her car, suffering with a loss of feeling in her lower limbs. Crews from Bear Regis and Poole used hydraulic cutting equipment to perform a full roof removal due to the suspected spinal injuries of the casualty. Once rescued, she was left in the care of the ambulance service, who immediately took her to A&E. Police were also on scene and the road was closed in both directions for several hours. Crews from Verwood, Cranbourne, Ringwood, Salisbury, Springbourne and Poole attended a car fire in Verwood in January after it crashed into a gas main. Local residents were evacuated as a precaution, while gas engineers made it safe for us to put out the fire. A 40-year-old man was arrested by police on suspicion of driving offences. 6 young people have been assisting police with their inquiries following a suspected deliberate fire in an abandoned building in Neston, Corsham in December. Firefighters from Corsham, Chippenham, Bradford-on-Avon and Calne were reminded of a similar fire at the property back in April 2014. The building was still derelict back then, and the fire was also believed to be started deliberately. In order to test our response to an emergency involving aircraft, we were involved in a multi-agency exercise in January at Bournemouth Airport. Working with the airport firefighting crew, the police, Hampshire Fire and Rescue Service, the ambulance service and Dorset County Council emergency planning, response staff were presented with a scenario of a Boeing 737 having to make emergency landing without the main landing gear. Crews had to deal with the fire while rescuing those passengers who were unable to self-evacuate. Many learning points were taken home by all those involved, enabling us to be better prepared should we ever have to respond to an incident of this type in the future.
So many thanks to Alison there for doing such an excellent job on the narration for us. Pete, have we received any emails this time?
Yep, so I've received 3 emails for us to go through today. The first one is from Kate S. in Control, as it happens. And she's gone on to say, "Hi Max and Pete, love the podcast. We see you are coming to film at Control. One question, why are you not filming the nominated Team of the Year for the Control Room Awards, namely Red Watch?"
So do I detect a bit of healthy rivalry between the watches there, Pete?
Yeah, it seems like that to me.
And also, I think that Kate has just nominated herself to do the narration for us in a future podcast, don't you?
Excellent, yep, highly recommend it.
I think that's what she was, reading between the lines, I think that's what she was saying in that email.
So we've got regular emailer Kate D also from Control, and she's got in touch through our staff Yammer site.
Didn't we promise to make her a FOTS if she emailed in again?
So we did promise to make her a FOTS, but seeing as this is coming through Yammer, our social networking site, I'm not sure if this one counts, Max.
Yeah, I take your point, but you know, it's a lovely day, the birds are singing, the sky is blue. Let's do it.
Right, so Kate D, you are officially a FOTS, friend of the show. And this is your comment on Yammer. So, hi Max and Pete, love the podcast. I'm pleased to see your use of knockoff makeup with the use of hand signals has remained.
It's my favourite bit of the show. I don't know about you, Pete.
Yeah, well, we always seem to get a few outtakes from that bit. Okay, and we have another FOTS. So Tony from Dorset has been back in touch with us. And he says, "Hi Max and Pete, love the podcast. As ever, I thoroughly enjoyed the latest podcast and have to say I'm a big fan of the outside broadcast format with the backdrop of a fire engine." Well, as you can see, we are outdoors again, but they don't keep any fire engines at our control centre. So I'm afraid you have to do with the buildings around us.
Yeah, well, it's you know, we're outside fire control here, so you know, it's pretty good. It's lovely here actually, apart from the weather. It's cold. It's cold today.
It's bracing cold, but we are committed to filming outside.
That's how committed we are.
Excellent. So Tony goes on to continue. Seeing the vehicle Martha belonging to Mr. Wannell, recognised for his commitment to the service over the years, made me wonder how many vehicle style changes have occurred since Martha and rolled on to the tarmac. And what are the names of the vehicles between Martha and the one named Dennis standing behind you in the podcast? He's not behind us in this one, but we'll let you off for that. But
Well, in the last one, I think he's saying.
in the last one it was.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that was when we were at Amesbury, wasn't it?
was that Amesbury
with
or was
Vicky.
it Sherborne? No, it must have been Amesbury.
Amesbury, yeah, because there we are. We're reminiscing about old podcasts.
We've got a few now. Excellent. So, Tony's question goes on to say, who gets to name the vehicles and does every engine have a different name?
But yeah, so many thanks for that, Tony, and it's good to have you back. You went a bit quiet there for a while, but it's always good to welcome back a FOTS. So I think what's happened here is we don't actually name our fire engines, or it's possible we may look at that in the future. But so Martha was a name of that fire engine, but Dennis is actually the name of the manufacturer that makes them. We used to purchase those a few years ago, but I think now we're mainly getting Scania ones. So Dennis isn't the name of the fire engine, it's the name of the fire engine. Is that clear?
Yeah, perfectly clear. Perfectly clear. And you've actually just gone on to finish with a quick gag here as well. Your podcasts are always informative and entertaining to boot. A fireproof boot, of course. Thank you.
Nice. Were you clapping that then?
A sympathetic clap, yeah.
Many thanks for that email there, Tony. That's all we've got time for this time. If you want to get in contact with me about anything to do with the show, then you need to be able to spell my surname. If you can do that, you can email me at max.furno@dwfire.org.uk. Pete, how can people get in contact with you?
And as always, you can get in touch with me by the email on the screen now. And we are not promoting this podcast in any way, so please like, share and subscribe.
And if you get time, just go onto iTunes and give us a 5-star review, because that really does help other people find the show. You can subscribe to us in Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you get your podcasts from. We're hosted by Podcast Garden, so go along to them and have a look at some of their other shows that they've got there. There's loads of other videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for DWFire and have a look at the other stuff that we've got there. The show is expertly produced by Pete Cole.
Thank you.
Presented, and I use that word in its loosest possible form, by myself, Max Furno. That's all we've got time for, but until next time, no, I don't have a catchphrase, but then I'm not a presenter, I'm a graphic designer. That's all for now. Pete, fade to black.
Adios.
Knock off, make up. Yes, no, this is a little extra bit that I put in.
Oh, you've gone off script again.
I've gone off script again, yeah. So yeah, just before we sign off, I heard the funniest thing the other day on one of the other podcasts that I listen to. So do you know any German?
9.
Okay, so if you know someone that knows enough German to be able to say 555,555 in German. So
Okay.
let's see if Siri works. Hey Siri, how do you say 555,555 in German?
In German, 555,555 is 555,555.
Do you not find that funny?
I find your reaction funny.
All right, we'll leave that bit out. That's just the funniest thing I've ever heard. Right, that's one for the outtakes then, obviously. Joke that falls flat on its face.